All right, on today's show, we're going to be talking with a special guest. We're going to be talking about what it took to go through a 4-year degree of university from a very top school here in the U.S., from boxing to also personal development, going 75 hard. You guys are going to have to listen to this one. Stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Mauricio Mejia Live.
All right, we're back. Mauricio Mejia live here in downtown San Jose, heart of Silicon Valley, and today we're gonna have a good time, man. We're gonna talk about some entrepreneurial ups and downs, and I got a special guest who I consider a friend and extended family because I've known your family for some time and seen their success. So I want to welcome Caleb Orozco to the show today. I want to welcome you to the show, man, and I know that. We're gonna have some fun here. So let's start from the basics. Obviously, born and raised here in San Jose.
Yeah, so I was born here in San Jose. Grew up here up until 5th grade, and then moved to Sacramento.
Okay.
So that's where kind of have part of my childhood, and obviously got into boxing in Sacramento. But after I graduated college, came back to San Jose, and this is where I've been investing myself and my efforts, my energy here in San Jose. So
yeah, talk to me about that boxing. I know that your family. I know your uncle's a big fan of boxing. Paul Orozco, one of the founders of, if not the founder, correct me if I'm wrong, of Iguanas.
Yep.
And Iguanas has expanded, did very well here in California, and they decided to pick up and move to San Antonio, Texas, and expand the brand out there. So it seems like the family has a history of entrepreneurship and so forth. So talk to me about the boxing though. What got you into that?
Yeah, so I grew up watching fights. You know, my grandfather, my mom's side, big boxing fan. So that was a big part of my upbringing. This family gatherings, just watching all the big fights, right? For me, I grew up watching Oscar de la Hoya, Trinidad, Winky Wright.
You must have been a baby because Oscar de la Hoya's how old are you?
I'm 31.
All right. Well, then you were watching it when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Because Oscar de la Hoya is 20 years ago. So that's how far back that goes. So, okay.
Yeah. So, just growing up watching that and just it bringing the family together. So, when I moved to Sacramento, I grew up playing baseball. I grew up playing Little League at Flickinger at North Valley Little League. Okay. And then moved to Sac. My pop, he presented me with the opportunity to learn how to fight. He wanted me to get into some type of either like jiu-jitsu or wrestling or boxing. And for me, boxing was just something that I was more interested in. So,
is your father a boxer? Because he's got that boxing look.
Yeah, he does. No, he's definitely a fan, and he definitely has a stiff jab. But I want to say, he's mostly a fan, but for him, his biggest strength as a father for me, I think he's been able to put me in front of mentors and guys who can send me in the right direction, So I'm very blessed to have a good family in that way, and it continues to serve me to this day. So I got my start in boxing when I was 10 years old, and since then it's been a big part of my life. So
yeah, any siblings?
No, I'm an only child.
Okay.
I'm an only child.
Your dad decided only one and done, huh?
That's how it worked out.
Okay.
So
that we know of, right? I don't want to start any shit right now.
That we know of.
That we know of. All right. Yeah. No, we're good. So,
I
love your dad, by the way. I think he's when I met him through Paul, and I met your other uncles. Great family. You guys have a great pedigree. Everyone's done well for themselves, and it seems like everyone moves as like a family unit. So it's nice to see that. It's refreshing, obviously, considering where things are today in the world. And, my upbringing was single mom with a sister and just kind of different, not in that family structure. So when you see that, you learn to appreciate it and understand, and then to see, obviously what you're doing and to have that background and that support, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? I think that support system is something that a lot of people don't have. But at the same time, when you don't have it, you could use it to your advantage, right? So for me, I've kind of had to navigate having both. having the support and also having people that I thought would believe in me, not really believing in me. So now that things are, I've caught momentum and things are kind of going in the direction that I said it to be going to, now, I sense the change in people who doubted me at the beginning. So, but yeah, absolutely. Having that support system is key. And I think that's kind of been my biggest strength as well. So whenever I wanted to kind of quit or slow down, it's like, wait, I have all these people who believe in me right now. And it's definitely a motivating factor for me.
Yeah. Did you do anything with the boxing? Did you turn it into a career, or is it just more of a hobby, more something for yourself?
Yeah, so I think it started off as just needing to learn how to defend myself, right? Mm-hmm. Growing up, you have to learn how to be able to stand your ground and defend yourself if the time comes. So that's how that started. But I was 10 years old when I started, and then I had my first amateur fight when I was 11. And that kind of just took off on its own. And I have a fantastic trainer who is basically a second father to me. He's taught me a lot about life, a lot about discipline, dedication. And, I think he has like 10, 11 kids. So for him to have to support that many mouths and, do things that he necessarily doesn't want to do but has to or had to, because, they're all grown now. Yeah. I saw that growing up. So for me, it's like, all right, it's not life isn't just about having fun and just frolicking around, right? It's like you got to get your head down.
Frolicking or fucking around, yeah, Jesus. Exactly. Let's keep it real. Yeah, no, man. It's real. Yeah. You got it. It's life is not easy, and as you get older, you're going to see that it becomes even harder. Yeah. And as you start to climb up the ladder of success, whatever that looks like to anybody, or just climb, in life, you'll see that challenges start to come at you.
Absolutely. And I think that's what the sport of boxing has taught me, right? So I had that first amateur fight, and I had around 50 amateur fights growing up. So, and I know you stepped in the ring not too long ago.
Yeah, no, that was an experience. Yeah.
And you know what? I think everyone should have at least one experience like that in their life, so they really know what it means to go through adversity, physical adversity, and learning how to keep your cool, right? So for me, I would get so nervous before the fights. Just super.
Well, it's like a street fight, though, too. You get nervous, right? I grew up as a kid. I got into a couple street fights, and I remember the adrenaline kicked in, my mouth dried up, or when you feel that fear, that moment of fear, you're just like, you get nervous. Yeah, I mean, because you don't know the outcome. I mean, some I won, and I remember some losing, and even to the point where I woke up one day in the hospital because somebody had knocked me out. I was like, and I had no idea how I got there. And that was at a young age. And then I decided that I wanted to learn how to defend myself and then get into the sport of, at the time it was kickboxing. And I had a little stint. I used to train at AKA, American Kickboxing Academy. And I thought that I wanted to be a fighter in the early 2000s until I got into the ring, and I got in the ring with a girl, and she lit me up. I was like, I don't know if I really want to do this, because everything is fun and games until you get hit in the face. Yep. And you get real stung. And then you start thinking about, is this really for me? Am I angry enough, right? Or do I have enough? Do I really want this? Is my heart in it? And I think that's where I just made the decision that wasn't for me. I'd rather go into the business side of it and become a promoter versus a fighter.
Sure. And you know what? That's good on your part, because a lot of people don't figure that out until it's too late and they end up getting hurt, right? So for you to have that awareness of, wait, I don't think I want to keep getting hit in the face, and for you to kind of make that switch. Yeah. Took one fight, and I was like, or one smokers, and I was like, oh, we didn't even go full 3 rounds. And I'm like, no, I'm done. This is, I would train for 3 years to get into the ring and have this smashed. It's like, all right, light sparring. I was like, well, it's not light sparring. She wants to fight. Yeah, absolutely. She got something to prove.
She did, and
she proved it.
And she proved it. And she, I don't want to say broke my spirit, but just it made me think twice about getting of really what I wanted to do. And I pivoted, and I decided to go the business side of things. And I didn't revisit that until a couple years ago. I decided I wanted to let's do an exhibition fight, and market the new gym that I had just opened, Punch King Fitness, and thought it would be fun. And first round, first 30 seconds, it's all fun and games until you get hit, and now you're in front of people, right? So you can't quit.
Yep.
You can't back down. Now there's pride, there's ego, there's bragging rights. We had designed this one where it was two nightclub owners. It was king of the nightclub bragging rights and blah blah blah, and it was fun. We had there was good intention in it, but when you get hit, it gets real quick.
Yeah, you're exposed. You're out there in the open. You can't hide from it. So it's like you have two choices: either keep fighting or quit.
Yeah, and I got 5 rounds, and we were only 30 seconds into the first one. So 5 2-minute rounds.
It's a lifetime.
And I swear it was probably one of the most longest 12 minutes of my life.
Yeah.
Because it was crazy.
And you finished.
Yeah, and I finished. And at the end, I always brag about it. I say, well, I got the win, but we both got the win. But it was definitely an experience. I got to give it up, Isaac B. If you're watching, anytime, brother, anytime. So, but good times, man. Yeah. So let me ask you. So then you transition, right? You decided to, what was next from the boxing? What schooling or what?
Yeah.
What woke you up from that, and then decided, obviously you wanted to switch up? I mean, again, you got entrepreneurs that are around you. Business people, your family. What do you think was next influence, I guess?
I think the biggest thing for me was I had gone to school. I'd gone to the University of Illinois in Champaign.
Okay.
So
wow, nice. Okay, what'd you study?
City planning.
Okay.
City planning. So
all right.
For me, the biggest thing was trying to figure out what it is I wanted to do with my life.
Wow, city planning that's big, man. That's big. Urban planning,
Exactly.
City planning. I mean, right now I think San Jose needs some real city planning.
Yep.
So, and we're going to dive into that because I know you've made some waves.
Sure.
With what you're working on, but yeah. So
I think I graduated high school 2011, and the Olympic trials were in 2012 for London. Before then. So I already knew that I wasn't as dedicated as other fighters to go to the Olympics in that way. So I was like, okay, what's my next option? Let's go to school. So I, made sure I studied up, my SATs, all that, tried to get good scores because I was a pretty average student. But was fortunate enough to apply and get into that school. Spent 4 years there, graduated 2015.
Nice.
And then I worked at a startup in Oakland for about 9 months after graduation. I couldn't find a direct job within my field because I didn't have a master's and I didn't have experience, right? So I had to kind of take what I could get. So I was...
wow, with the city planning and you're working for a startup or a smaller... Yeah.
In Oakland. So
Oakland,
I was commuting Amtrak every morning at like 6 a.m., going over there, working for someone else, doing the whole thing. And on my rides in the train, I'd just be on YouTube just... coming across all these other entrepreneurs, one of them being Andy Frisella, right?
Yes. One of my favorites, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't fuck around. I love his podcast, by the way, and it's been an inspiration to what we do here and along with others. But yeah, Andy Frisella's badass.
Yeah, he's been a huge influence in my life. And also Randall Pitch, the CEO and Top Threads and Live Fit and all these guys who are just normal dudes who are making an impact, right, with their product, their service, and just the way they're able to share their journey. So I'm watching these guys and I'm like, okay, there's something bigger to life than going to work and just hoping for a paycheck and hoping to be acknowledged for your hard work. So I'm grateful for that opportunity that startup gave me. But during that time, I was like, all right, I got to figure something else out. So, and this is when I started to get into like the personal development. I read Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
How to win friends and influence people. Like all the basic like entry
you're
level,
talking my language right now. Yeah.
So
I'm actually listening to a couple of books right now. The one that I'm doing is Ego is Your Enemy.
Okay.
Ooh, that one's deep. That one I just started it. There's the four agreements is another good one. The 50 Cents 50 Cents book is really good. David Goggins is really good. I mean,
There's so many out there.
I don't even listen to radio, man. When I'm driving, I'm listening. It's like my university on wheels.
That's it.
You know, and that's what you were doing. You were commuting and you were listening. You were empowering your mind, feeding your mind good stuff.
Yeah, you know what's funny is, right, I had 4 years of university education, and I learned what I had to learn for that specific area, right, city planning. But then when I was on Amtrak trying to figure out what to do, it's like I had to learn all this on my own. And I've been doing that since 2015, steady. And it's kind of gotten me to where I am now, which is just opening more doors for me. And it's like, once you expand and once you open up and once you know that there's more out there, it's really hard to retract. So
yeah,
for me to kind of...
How does the idea of getting a job fill in your stomach?
Now?
To think of like a job, like, right, what is that? Just a thought, right? I mean, you're an entrepreneur. You started your own business.
Yeah.
You know what that's like.
Yeah.
But would you trade what you have to go get a job?
No.
Yeah.
No, but I would say
I should have. We're gonna do a little highlight on that facial expression you just did right now. That's exactly.
No.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think the significance, it depends on the job, because if you're working for someone else for a paycheck and they are adding more value than just the job,
okay,
then the job is just an opportunity, right? And that's what I am hoping, and that's what I'm striving to do with my team now that I have now. It's like, for them, I don't want them to just come into the shop, wash dishes, make pizzas, provide incredible hospitality. Like, for me, my job is to coach them and to lead them and to let them know that they got so much more in them, right?
Absolutely.
So for, if you want a job, like, yeah, come be a part of what we're doing, because it's more than just what's in front of you. It's like, we're going to learn how to really grow as a person, and whatever you decide to do, whether to grow with us or branch out and do something on your own, like, when you look back, you're going to know that you learned a lot working with us.
Yeah.
So
let's dive into some of the personal growth that you've done. So you're obviously you're wearing the brand. So you're under Andy Frisella's right now mentorship or program that he's doing. One of my favorites, I saw it. I think it's called. Is it Invictus or
Arte?
Arte. That's right.
Yeah.
And that's with also Ed Milet, who's one of my favorites as well. Love their mindset. I love what they talk about in business. Andy, obviously entrepreneur, very successful. He's got his brand, which, by the way, thanks for the drink. I appreciate it. I like his protein bars. They're off the hook, and all that other good stuff. Did you do that? Are you doing the 75 hard?
So you know what? I've done that 5 times.
Whoa.
I started it.
Okay.
I started this last time 24 days ago.
Okay.
And this is the first time I failed.
Oh, wow. So you've completed it 5 times?
I've completed it 4, and then this 5th time I couldn't because I got sick.
Okay.
So the other
that's no joke, man. I mean, it's a gallon a day. It's a gallon a day of water. It's a strict regimen. I mean, it's no joke.
It is. So having to do that, plus also run the restaurant. I think the restaurant business, right, is so demanding in itself. You're already having 5 workouts in a day. You're running back and forth. You're lifting boxes of cheese and flour, and the mental is.
I was just about to say, what about the mental workout that comes with? Yeah.
So, in me trying to do both, my body could only take so much. So, before I would just push myself and I'd get through it, and then by the time the day 75 was done, day 76 I was shot. Last time I came down with pneumonia. I closed the shop for like 3 weeks because I couldn't move. So this last time when I was feeling it coming on, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to push myself. I know how disciplined I am. I know how hard I push.
Well, one time's enough, bro. You did it 4 times. I mean, that's that you were definitely you're obviously you're searching for more. Yeah. You're seeking more answers, and I can see, again, and congratulations, by the way, on opening up, and thank you for the hats.
Absolutely.
Last round, right here, one of my favorite pizzas. I haven't had it in a while because I've been watching my macros.
Yeah.
But the chorizo pizza, hands down, one of the best pizzas in the entire Bay Area. You took on an opportunity, and again, it's you must have saw something that nobody else was seeing. And I remember the business that was existing there, and they had been there for a very long time. Italian family, pizzeria that in San Jose, right by the university. Walk us through that, because diving into the one, restaurant business, two, you've talked about education, obviously personal growth, and you wanted to dive into something else. It seemed like working for somebody else wasn't jiving with you. Something you were digging for more, and you've obviously have taken those steps. Share with us that journey, because that takes a lot of courage, and you have to take that leap of faith. You got to jump, and you jumped.
Yeah,
and there's no coming back.
No, once you jump, it's like you gotta. It's like you jump, and on the way down is when you kind of build your parachute.
Woo!
And it's like, then that's when you like start floating a little bit.
Yeah.
And I feel like the ground, we're never really going to hit the ground. We're just
Never.
going to keep,
Never.
floating. So
The day you hit the ground is when we die.
exactly right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
So we took the leap, and again, my pop has been a big influence in what we're doing now. If it wasn't for the foundation that he set as far as the braised meats, the attention to detail and the marinara sauce, and just the standard that he started back in the day, that's what really kind of set the foundation for what I'm doing now. And I just felt like it was my obligation to kind of take it to the next level, and that's when I just really dug into pizza, because I'd never made pizza before. So just like the personal development, I went on YouTube, read books, taught myself how to make pizza dough. And that just kind of goes to show, it's like you don't need the proper training. You just need the drive and the desire to go and go learn it yourself. And you're
That's
going
right.
to fuck up, but that's like where the lessons are. So you just got to keep going.
Right.
I remember the first pizzas we were making, they weren't even coming out round, because I couldn't make a round pizza.
I'm not. I'm just.
Yeah, no.
I think that if anything, it's just. It's amusing to see the mistakes we make along
Yeah.
the way. I mean, I didn't get to where I'm at just because I woke up one day and say, boom, I'm great. No, it took a lot of errors, a lot of failing forward, a lot of, just experience
Yeah,
to get to where I'm at. And I'm still learning
that's it.
every day.
That's it.
I wake up and sometimes I'm in my head and I'm like, fuck, I need to get out of my head. And that's partly why I've gotten into this whole 3:30, 4 o'clock routine, because when my brain wakes up, I cannot stay in bed laying and thinking, because the voice just gets too loud. And I'm like, fuck, I got to get up. I got to get active, and boom, let's hit the gym.
Yep.
Part of it was when I had the awakening of the journey that I wanted to take, man, with my body. I mean, this time last year, I was pushing 230 pounds. I was fucking I was out of my mind. I was comfortable, was making a lot of money again. I've had my peaks and valleys, and I stopped paying attention to myself.
Yep.
I was considering the 75 hard. It just wasn't mentally there yet. I wasn't that deep into a rabbit hole. And luckily, I came across an old friend of mine who does nutrition, and thanks to Mike Escobar and his team, he called me out on my shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need that, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just the importance of having the right people around you
Yeah.
to hold you accountable when you don't.
Yeah.
But you got to be your first line of defense. So it's like when you're like,
Damn, I love that one. First line of defense. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So you got to kind of build yourself into knowing when you're bullshitting yourself. So it's hard to do, but
Damn, bro, I think you're schooling me right now. Go for it. Keep bringing it. I love it. No, it's the
Yeah.
truth. It's the truth.
yeah,
You have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, fuck, are you really, really what you are? And trust me, even right now in these last probably last 60 days or even last 5 months, I've been going through a lot of transformation, personal growth as well. And there's moments where I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, all right, motherfucker, it's time. You need to tie it up and say, be who you say you are in order to continue to grow and get to that next level. Because it just gets harder.
yeah.
It gets harder. It doesn't get easier. And I know you're experiencing that with your business. So share that with us. Share part of the growth, the growing pains of running a business.
Yeah, so where we're at now is what I had imagined before we even opened, right? Because big on visualization
Absolutely.
and you know, just picturing the details and the team and people coming in and enjoying what you have to offer and making friends and just being a part of people's lives like we are now. And I want to say we're there, but now it's like this whole level of like shit that I need to figure out has presented itself. So now it's like, all right, it feels like we're starting from scratch again.
Oof. Okay.
But it's like, okay, we've gotten this far without knowing shit. So now it's like, I know a little tiny bit. So if I could now take what I've learned and apply it to these new lessons that I'm going through now,
Yeah.
we'll be all right. But again, it goes back to the ability to learn and to learn from your mistakes, make the adjustments, and just stay disciplined and knowing that that hardship is what's going to build you into who you need to be to really like keep pushing. And at the end of the day, for me, it's how many people can I bring up with me?
Yeah.
So for me, that's like the sign of success for me. Like, yes, I want a specific car. I want a specific house that I see in my head.
Right.
I see a specific number in my bank account. I see all that.
Yeah.
But just like Andy has shared on his podcast, right? It's like once you achieve all of that, it's like, okay, what else is left? And for him, the mission changes, right?
That's
it's
right.
Like, all right, now it's about how many lives can we impact. And
That's
for
right.
me, it's like I've already felt the feeling of like buying my dream car, driving it, and already getting used to driving it and feeling that feeling of like, all right, now what?
What's next?
I felt that before even getting it.
That's right.
So now for me, it's like now the mission is already about the people. It's
Right.
already about my team. It's like, how can I contribute to what they see for themselves? And for me, it's like my vision of what the business can be has to be so huge that it fits their dreams in it as well, right? So
Do you see your business scalable or scaling? Or what do you envision for your business, or do you see a pivot in your life to create another business? Because you can have multiple businesses. I have multiple businesses, and you know it also takes a certain skill to be able to juggle, right? Because now you're juggling. And one of the things that I have learned, and through trial and error, that when I'm trying to juggle too many balls, sometimes one's gonna fall.
yeah.
And then you think about, do you want to bring that one back into the rotation, or do you work with what you got, right? But I've learned that through lessons as well. I mean, at one point I had 7 lanes going because I thought 7 lanes was what I needed. And then I shrank down to 3, and then I came back up to 4, then 5, and then, but my entrepreneurial spirit is always, it's not settled. I mean, I remember making my first $1 million deal, and I remember having the grandest opening of my first nightclub or entertainment venue of my own. And I remember standing at the top of the staircase and looking down and saying, fuck, is this it? Like on the grand opening night, I'm like, is this it?
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, now I got to double down. Now I got to triple down. Now I want to grow. Right. And then I started learning all the pitfalls that came along with that industry. And nightlife, whew, that's a beast.
Sure.
That's a beast. Anybody that used to say, oh, I wish I had your, I'm like, trust me, you'd be giving me the keys in a week, because you couldn't handle the kind of stuff that we handle in that industry, or in any business, right? Everyone, or I don't want to say everyone, but people that say they want to be CEOs, or they want to be beasts, or they want to be the owners, until they get to the point where they have to do it and they have to be responsible for that, and they realize how much work it takes. That's really where the test is at, right? You got responsibilities. You got a payroll.
Yep.
You got a lease to pay.
Yep.
And when you're signing, I'm sure almost certain that most leases we're guarantors. We got to guarantee our assets. That means, for those who don't understand what a guarantor means, is you sign your life away. If the business fails, they still come after you personally.
Yep. Yeah. So now that we've been able to grow it to a point where we have a team. For me, before, when we first opened up, right, I'm like, here's a beer on us, or here's this on us, because that's just me.
I've done that mistake too.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, here, have a shot on me. Oh, yeah, don't worry,
Yeah.
I got you covered.
Yeah. That completely changed once I really saw the numbers. And once it's like I have people that I got to take care of who depend on what we're doing, right? So, no, like when you come in asking for a discount, and you know what? I don't have a single family member that comes in expecting that. And that's why I say I'm very fortunate in that way, because people who are closest to me support me 100%. And I know a lot of folks don't have that. So, you know, my mom pays, my pop pays, my girlfriend pays. Like, you know, she has her own business. Whenever I go get serviced by her, like I pay, like because we understand she's a business owner. So it's like we don't expect nothing free. And at the end of the day, it's like the payout is going to be down the road. It's not going to be the shot that I'm giving you for free. Right. So, yeah, and right, going back to boxing, it's like when you get hit in the face, it's like, all right, now you have two choices. You keep fighting, or, you know, you go back to your corner and tell your coach, like, no, I'm done, and have everyone see. So I'd rather not do that. So as a business owner now.
That's a great example, by the way, Caleb. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Right? And like I said, people, they talk about wanting to be that next level, but they don't know what it takes. And if they learn it, then you have to stick with it.
Yeah.
You got to stay consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've been consistent, man. I'm watching your growth, and I know that people only see the outside. Mm-hmm. They don't see the inside, and they don't see those dark moments. Yeah. But in those dark moments are the moments that we grow the best. That's or the most.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We got to maximize those dark times.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just in my mind. I'm just thinking of everything that I can imagine it because I've been there. Mm-hmm. I'll share a little experience. Yesterday, I was at I do this weekly program where I'm mentoring other adults and male adults, and there's about 12 to 15 in this class. And I'm looking at them, and I'm the oldest one in the room. And as I heard everyone's story, I said, damn, I can relate to those at all different stages in my life, right? At the end, I had them all write, hey, if you guys were able to write yourself a letter, 10, go back how many years you guys want, what would it be? And it was interesting to see and hear all the stories that came out. And I bring that up right now because I'm just thinking, if you were to write yourself a letter and look back, what kind of advice would you give yourself?
If I were to write myself a letter,
or just talk to the younger Caleb, I mean, looking back, with considering what you're doing today and looking back where you're at, your trajectory, what would you say? What kind of advice would you give yourself?
You know what? This is kind of like a part of a meditation that I would do.
Okay.
Right? So it's like you talk to your younger self,
mm-hmm.
and then you see your older self.
Okay.
So when I'm talking to my younger self now, present moment, I'm really just kind of letting him know, like, yo, you're going to be good.
You got this.
You got this. You're going to connect the dots once you take those first steps. So don't be afraid to just go after it, because I think as humans, we want to have everything figured out, and that's not how it works.
No.
So for me, I think as a little kid, I was very like hesitant about a lot of things, and very like reserved and quiet. I was a happy kid,
mm-hmm.
but very like cautious and aware. And as I got older, I started realizing that was holding me back. So now I'm learning to kind of just like let loose a little bit, like relax.
You're taking risks. You've taken them. You're at where you're at because not because you were conservative. You took the risk.
And that's what it takes, right? If we want to lead these big lives, like you have to take those big steps. And like we talked about earlier, like you take your step off the ledge and you figure out the parachute on the way down.
Yeah. So. What's your big vision? What do you visualize, for the future? I mean, you have one business, but what do you really see? What's the grand vision of yours?
So I have the grand vision in my head, right? So
yeah, I mean, look, you even lit up right now. You're like, all right, let's dive into that one. Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I could lay it out all for you guys right here, right now. But a part of, like, the excitement for me is like I'm just gonna let people see,
Okay.
right? So, I mean, we could share like off camera, and I could let you know, like, okay, this is what I got planned up
Got
to this
you.
point. But what kind of motivates me, and it's part of my driving force, is having people see the results for themselves, right?
Got it.
So,
So that's your mission right now, right? You're working on something. You're manifesting, you're visualizing something that's grander than where you're at today. And in that process, you're fortifying yourself. I'm only interpreting what you're telling me,
Yeah.
right? I'm giving you an interpretation of what I'm hearing, because I can relate to that, right? One of the things that I have learned now is that I've become more silent on certain things that I'm working on, and I'll only share what I want to share with certain people that I feel within close proximity, because at the end of the day, life, right?
Yeah.
So the people, there's people that are gonna love you and people that are gonna hate, just by whatever drives them. But yeah, it's one of those things that, I understand where you're talking. You're just gonna show everyone by the results of what you're doing. I think if anything, I was just trying to get to kind of dig and find is there a grander vision than what you're currently doing?
absolutely.
Okay.
There. I feel like there always will be. Even
Okay.
when I reach what I have set in my mind, once I get there, it's like, all right, what's the next thing?
Right.
Right? Because what I saw for myself before we open, we're doing that now. And for me, it's like, fuck, we're just barely getting started.
Wow.
So if I thought this was like the end result,
You've been
Right.
open now, what, 2 years?
5 years.
Fuck. Wow.
Yeah,
Time
5
flies.
years. We opened 2019.
So yeah, that's right. Pre-COVID.
9 months before COVID.
Woo.
And I stuck it out, stayed open, and learned so much during that
Damn, time flies. I swear I could have. Yeah.
5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're just getting started.
They say sometimes it takes about 10 years to master something, so whatever it is. And then along the way, you'll pick up something else and then you'll pivot. I mean, I did nightlife for 25 years and then I pivoted. What I'm doing today has nothing to do with nightlife, but I learned a lot of lessons, a lot of great lessons
Yeah.
being in that space. I'm the best marketer, promoter of myself and the things that I do because I knew how to compete on that level.
Yeah.
It's that world you got to compete. You got to compete against the next guy that comes up with the next great idea, or smoke and mirrors. Just you got to be a better master at it. So
Yeah. And that's a skill set in itself. A lot of folks aren't born with that. And I think, right, we see like Conor McGregor and all these guys who I want to say are naturally gifted at that, but they have the ability to back it up. Right. He has the fighting skills, but he also has the verbal communication and that aura about him. No one's perfect as a human being, but in that aspect, it's like,
yeah,
you see the top elite performers in marketing and branding and relatability because he didn't come from nothing.
right.
I don't.
Yeah, no. He built it. Yeah, built it, and that's I think that's just part of the journey, and that's part of the whole experience in life, man. We're all building, right? Yeah. We're all building our future. How bad do you want it, and how big do you want to go?
That's it. And you know what?
Yeah.
Right there, I think a lot of people are always like chasing, right? They like, I'm chasing my dreams. I'm chasing my dreams. For me, one of the things that I tell myself is I'm never chasing. I'm always building.
That's right.
So it's here right now. Whatever we need, we have it right here. We have it in us. We have it in front of us. We just got to figure out how to make it work. So I'm never like running after something because I'm never going to catch it. Like it's right here, right now. So how do I figure out how to make the most of what's in front of me? Yeah. And that's kind of been my motto for myself. And I know.
It's a great analogy when you think about that, right? People get caught up, and I got caught up at a young age chasing money. You start chasing that, and you lose your focus on the bigger, grander scheme of things, right? What I learned in my years of business, and I continue to learn this as I'm playing the game at a much higher and different level, is that we become stewards or caretakers of money, right? Money's not ours. Money comes and goes, right? It's like fluid.
Yep.
I learned this going to the Aspire tours. You know, they talk about Andrew Cordell talks about he talks about money flowing, right? And the root word or the original word of money is currency, right? And if you look at currency, what is currency? Current, right? It flows,
It's
right?
energy.
It's energy, right? So the paper is just a byproduct of what you're producing or mastering or doing.
Yeah.
And it just comes down to just, purpose too, right? And I think you said it earlier, when as you're building your team, you want to make an impact on those around you, not just have an employee mindset or come here to just work and work. You can't, and there is people that are just like that, and that's okay, right? But if you want to build a team or a culture of winners, you have to be the example, right? And that's the same thing that I do with myself in my other businesses. And some I'm great, and some I lack because I'm still learning in certain things. Managing people is definitely it's an interesting skill because some people can be coachable and some people can't be coachable. So along the way, you're gonna go through a lot of trials and tribulations. I mean, I've done it with my business, the gym business. I know nothing about. Well, now I know because it's been a very expensive lesson, but very beneficial for me because I know now what not to ever do in opening up a gym. And I've gone through multiple leadership changes and gotten to the point now where I found a rhythm. Right, and we're just barely starting to scratch the surface because I think from this point moving forward, things are just gonna exponentially grow.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where you're at right now. I mean, you're seeing what your formula is, and I think now 5 years later, you're gonna see the formula of exponentially growing.
Yeah, and I don't know what it's going to be 5 years from now, but I know that it's all going to stem from what I do today and the standard that I hold now, right? It all stems from us, from you. Your crew is going to operate at the level that you do. So that's why it's important that you take care of yourself, your mental, your physical, because it all branches out from you. So
yeah,
for me, it's like when I first started, right, I was drinking a lot. I was, doing whatever. And that's just, how I was.
Yeah. You're young.
But the business...
It's all right, bro. Don't beat yourself up. I did the same thing too.
Yeah.
This time last year again, I was drinking, having a good time, and just I lost control of myself.
And that happens, and sometimes we need for that to be like a wake up call, right? But now it's my threshold of how much I'm gonna let myself kind of stoop down to that level. I could catch myself a little bit better, but I'm learning that the better that I take care of myself, the more I'm able to give to the business, to the people working with me, and it's just better for everyone all around. So, and now hopefully that they pick up on that and they start doing the same for themselves. So
hopefully, don't count on it.
Yeah,
don't count on it because as much as we try to be examples, they have to also want it.
Yes.
Right. So you can't change people. Right. And that's something that I'm learning right now too, even in relationships. When you get into a relationship, you don't want to try. You're not trying to change anybody. You're trying to find somebody that's compatible with your things, and then you grow together, right? You want to mesh and make things happen. So if you're going to try to change people or try to fix people, good luck.
Yeah.
That's when shit becomes toxic. Even in business relationships, business partnerships, the same way. You guys everyone either ebbs and flows and goes with peaks and valleys and takes it. Or if you're trying to change certain people's ways of doing business, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
alignment is everything, right? So
that's
you
right.
have to kind of align with people who working with you, and the more you grow, they could either grow with you or they're gonna weed themselves out.
Yeah.
And that I've been through that as well.
I want to hit on something because I know I'm going to be mindful on time here. I'm involved with the city and a lot of the stuff that's happening in the downtown core. And we've created these block parties, right? And we have these certain districts that we've been working on. We started in the historic district, the Sofa district, San Pedro Square, Paseo de San Antonio. We got Little Italy, and then we have City Hall. And I think from what I've heard, I believe you're the one that's leading the charge on creating the East Santa Clara district, or what's the district named?
Yeah, so we're in the middle of a rebrand, and it's going to be East Village, San Jose.
Yes.
Right, so previously it was East Santa Clara Street Business Association, and thanks to Community Strong Strategies, right, their team, I was recruited, and now I'm part of the East Village Business Association, right? And it's kind of funny because now
your planning skills are kicking
exactly
in. Yeah,
right.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah.
And that's why it was in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
I needed to make sure I hit this because, interestingly enough, what you went to study for is now coming into play.
Exactly right.
And it's going to be a pivotal point for that side of San Jose.
It's a trip, you know, and it's something that, you know, big on like writing down my goals and visualizing. And I had this name, obviously East Village, there's one in New York, there's one in other cities, right? But for our district, I felt like it encapsulated the neighborhood perfectly because it is East Santa Clara Street, right? And Village for me represents a community of people who are looking out for each other.
That's right.
And that's really what we need. So, you know, I came up with this idea to just rebrand, like let's set a higher standard.
That's right.
Cleaner streets, safer streets. You know, having the business there for 5 years, we see a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So things that my team shouldn't have to be dealing with on that corner, right? So it's like we need to start making a change. So it's actually later this week. I'm not sure when this is coming out, but we're gonna have a press conference coming up with the mayor and the rest of the board and council member and really do like little ribbon cutting for the murals that we
So is it official? It's going to be called East Village?
It is official, East Village, San Jose. And it's been a year of planning and working closely with a lot of community leaders. So
got it.
Well,
it's a trip. Keep us involved. You know that I'm working with UVI, which is Urban Vibrancy Institute. Their focus is in cleaner, safer, and vibrant downtown. You are part of the downtown core. We should definitely talk about planning for 2025 and maybe creating a block party for the East Village because, again, it's part of the downtown core. So it could be definitely something for next year. We have 6 block parties right now, adding an additional one or incorporating the East Village. As a matter of fact, I think we should incorporate that because our City Hall one is our last one, and it's butted up right. It's butted up next to you guys. So I think we should definitely work on that. I mean, I think that'd be a great opportunity to roll out and introduce the new area. So
absolutely
good, man. Well, congratulations on again what you're doing. I know it's not easy. Luckily for you, you have some great people that are behind you supporting. You're also doing your part in doing personal development and personal growth. You've challenged yourself. I haven't even done one 75 strong, and you already done 4. That says a lot about what you really want, and good for you, man. Continue to do what you're doing, and we're here to support. I'm here to support. I'm happy that I got you scheduled on the show, and I want to thank my team for all of that as well. That again, we got to showcase what's down here, and not only that, but the journey of what it takes to be an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity, and excited to do this, and looking forward to what the future holds.
Last words, for people that are out there, what piece of advice would you give to people out there, either wherever they're at in life? What would be your advice?
I think the biggest thing, we're going to go back to the name of the business, right? The Last Round Tavern. So the reason why it's called the Last Round is because my coach in the corner, when I was fighting, he would always tell me the last round's the best round, right?
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if you're behind on the scorecards, if you're getting your ass beat, if you're winning, like you better go out and finish strong.
That's right.
So wherever you're at, if you're feeling tired or if you feel like you're running the score up on everyone, you got to still keep your foot on the pedal. Like people are coming after you, got to keep the intensity. You got to keep your standard of operating high. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Do not quit. Like that is the biggest separator between those who do and those who don't, right? They just do not stop. So
that's right. Great words of advice. I heard it from Robert the Ghost Guerrero. His words of advice to me were, Mauricio, the last 10 seconds when you hear that, you got to give it all you got.
That's it.
the last 10 seconds, he goes, if you can think about giving up, he goes, just imagine when you get to those 10 seconds, dale.
It.
And that's it, bro. So good.
He's a great guy, man. I love Robert.
Amazing human being, and you know, does a lot for the community.
Yeah.
So anyhow, well, thank you again for being here today, and you know, I look forward to sharing more stories with you, and you know, again, appreciate the time.
Likewise, thank you.
Alrighty.
Mauricio Mejia Live.